Richard, are we online? Good. Thank you all for coming here tonight. Lisa, please call the roll.
Mr. Manning?
Here.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Here.
Ms. Santini? Present. Mr. Maynard?
Present.
Mr. Leonel? Present.
Ms.
Mayor Powers?
He is en route and will be here shortly. Okay. Lisa, also in attendance is Melissa, our Director of Child Care in the back. Hello, Melissa, thanks for coming. Our new Communications Director, Alex Hitcho, is here, and we'll be introducing her in a quick second. Bob Walmsley, our fantastic Athletic Director, sometimes disciplinarian, sometimes facilities helper, sometimes 10 million other things he's got going on, is also here. Ed, our CFO, is also here, as well as Lee Walmsley, our Director of HR, and the board's confidential secretary, Ms. Wilson, is here. Good to see you. Board members, there is no amendments to the agenda, so I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Manning. Is there support for Mr. Manning's motion?
Support.
Support by Ms. Kaminsky. Hearing no questions. Lisa, please call the roll.
Mr. Manning?
Vote yes.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Ms. Leonel? Yes. And Mr. Maynard?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Okay, board members, before we move into the next set of minutes, there's just two announcements from me this evening. First, March is reading month. I will be at Parker Elementary tomorrow reading to a fourth grade class. And Ken has picked the book, and him and I are having a discussion on the book, but we'll see what goes there on that. But so I'll be there, and I'll be at other elementaries throughout the month. I encourage you all to go to the elementaries, schedule a time with each elementary principal. If you're having trouble figuring out a book, you can borrow a stack from mine. The principal will be more than happy to give you one, or if you need a suggestion, you can talk to Ken.
I went today.
Oh, you went
I
today?
beat you to it.
Well,
And they also have,
Parker Elementary?
and they also have plenty to choose from there.
correct, they do. You went all places? All three?
No, not yet. I'm going to be going to another one. I scheduled for one. And I brought my own books, and they let me read 2 books, so,
Oh, good for you.
for the preschoolers, it was fun.
Yes.
Great class.
Yeah, I'll get to the preschoolers. I got a schedule
Yeah, those
before I
two of them.
go on my vacation. And the second is, it is my duty to inform the board and the public that the window for the open seat on the Board of Education has closed. Board members, I texted all of you that we have one applicant. That applicant at this time is Mr. Wilbur Jones from the class of 1982 here at Clintondale. As I have spoken with each of you, there will be a special meeting called for March 11th at 6:30 here tonight, or 6:30 that night. It will consist of an opening statement from Mr. Jones. Then it will consist of so many questions there was this time. The 16 questions that we are presented here with tonight with his answers. You will be given an opportunity to ask if you have any follow-ups on those 16 questions. I will go down the line asking if you have any clarifications on what he wrote. And then a second round of 2 questions, each board member directed to him, and he will answer that. And then after that, it will be up to the board to offer a motion to hire him. Is there any questions on that procedure? No? It's in your yellow folder. His questions and everything are in your yellow folder from Teresa. So we'll proceed with that on March 11th. So moving forward, next thing is the approval of the minutes. As recommended by the board president, the board approved the regular meeting minutes for February 21st, 2024. Does anybody have any changes that they would like in the minutes? Mr. Powers?
I thought I saw that there was reference in the minutes to a resolution passing by a vote of 6-0, but I think it was 5-1.
It's closed session, records from Congress. Yes, it's right here, item number 2, non-consent, 5-1.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. Is there any other changes that need to be added to the minutes? Okay, I now entertain a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky? Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mrs. Zontini. No further discussion. Please call the roll.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Yes.
Ms. Zontini.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Mr. Valerio, no. Yes. And Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. For the public, the first motion was 5-0 because Mr. Powers was en route, and now all 6 legally sitting members are here to vote. Correspondence, it is recommended by the superintendent and the board president that the board acknowledge the correspondence and receive them from Ms. Carrie Brown and Mr. David Myers. Is there a motion to receive and accept the correspondences?
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky, is there support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Zontini. Board members, is there any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Yes.
Ms. Zontini.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Ms. Valerio, no. Yes. And Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. We are now at the point of the meeting for the superintendent's report. There's some interesting stuff. Mr. Superintendent, are you ready?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Want to start off out of rotation on what I had listed here for my report. I want to start off with welcoming Kurt Violet here today. Kurt, would you stand up for me? Kurt here is one of our student ambassadors that you've asked me to go about looking for individuals for the Board of Education. Melanie Cargill, can you give him a round of applause? Kurt is one of the individuals where Mrs. Cargill went out and found some students, a 10th grader and 11th grader. Kurt is an 11th grader here at Clintondale High School. 10th grader, I'm sorry, 10th grader at Clintondale High School. He will be joining another individual that I will introduce when she's here at the next meeting. But just want to welcome Kurt as the student ambassador for the Board of Education. We've talked a little bit about his role, of what he's going to be doing, so welcome, Kurt. Thank you for joining us.
Come on up for a quick second. Yeah. We got to get you accustomed now because that's where you'll be speaking from. So, First, welcome. I had the pleasure of meeting Kurt for the first time when I was drafted to do the line duty at one of our football games in August. Fine representative of the student body. I'm very happy to see him here at this position. So, what got you excited in taking the position?
I mean, I just want to do anything to help Clintondale.
Oh, very good. Okay. So what is your favorite course at Clintondale at this moment?
I'll say AP U.S. History.
U.S. History?
AP U.S. History.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like it. No math?
No, I'm not. I'm not good at that.
No? No? So what are your fall sports plans?
Hopefully, Mr. Walmsley can start a cross-country team.
Oh. And I didn't even put him up to that, Bob. I like it. He takes his opportunity. Good. And you play JV basketball, correct?
Yes, correct.
And run track in the spring?
Yep.
Good, good. What's your GPA?
I think somewhere around a 4.2.
There you go. Board members, you have any questions? Oh.
They're not going to let you weigh that easy.
Get all the getting's good.
Mr. Manning, do you have any questions?
I'm just looking at, we're talking about high school, 10th grade, right?
Yep.
Use the microphone.
Okay. Oh, sorry. No, just good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Zontini, do you have anything? No? Mrs. Kaminsky?
I don't have any questions for Kurt, but I know in previous years, when we've had these student ambassadors, they sat at the table with us. And so I don't recall if there was a special ceremony, you know, welcoming them in, but I do remember the student ambassadors sitting at the table with us.
So what,
They always share on the same.
correct, so what Ken and I are working on is when the other individual is introduced at the
Gotcha.
next meeting, we're gonna do a formal swearing in.
Excellent.
And then, yes, we'll make room for them, but they're going to be here for the first part of the meeting because they have to go home and study and do other things.
Absolutely.
So their report will be right at the front, we'll be able to ask any questions, and then we'll get them on their way.
Very good, thank
Okay.
you.
So next meeting, if your parents want to be here, there's a formal swearing in for you.
Okay.
And we'll make it work.
All right.
Okay. Ms. Noak, do you have anything?
No, just a welcome, and I'm glad to see that students are getting involved.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
one student council person to the next. Mr. Powers, do you have anything?
I'm sorry, Kurt, what is your last name?
Violet,
What street do you live on, Kurt?
Vermander.
Okay. Well, I want to welcome you to the board, and don't be shy
Yeah,
about
thank you.
offering suggestions to us.
Okay.
I have 4 sons, they're all in their 20s, and they keep telling me modern things like, Dad, nobody writes checks anymore. Everybody does Zelle and PayPal and all that stuff, and nobody does this, nobody does that. So we need to be brought kind of back to modern times through the youth of our district. So you provide us with an opportunity that is very valuable to us. So I think that the more that you share with us, the stronger we'll all be. And again, if you have any questions about how we do things up here or why we do things, please don't be shy about that either. So,
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you at the next meeting with the report ready to go.
So I talked with Kurt and the other representative today. So they just found out at 2:30 this afternoon that they would be sitting in this role. Had a chance, they both came over at the end of the day, so I was very happy. I got to put a little smile on my face, Kurt, when I saw you sitting out in the audience. So I appreciate you being here and making the time to be here today. I'm going to move through with another introduction. I'm going to introduce Alex Hitchell as our new Director of Communications.
Alex, come on up. Let me be the first to welcome you. I did it earlier, but welcome to the family. I know today's your first day. I'm super excited for you based on your past resume and what we're going to look forward to coming up here in the next couple of days. So I just want to say very much welcome aboard. And like I said earlier, I'm glad I don't have to call the press anymore.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Board members, Mr. Manning, did you have anything?
No, I do not.
Ms. Zantini? Ms. Kaminsky?
I do not, we met this earlier.
Mrs. Noak?
Be fine.
Mr. Powers?
Welcome, and the same thing I said to Kurt goes for you. Please don't be shy. We're very anxious and eager to get your opinions on the way we do things, because we're still kind of figuring it out. So it can only help. Thank you.
Very much. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Alex and I had a great first day. Today was our first day starting, so started off with a great cabinet meeting, which is where the central office administrators come together. But then we spent our day touring all the buildings. Got a chance to walk through the high school, got a chance to walk through iCampus, the middle school, spent our afternoon at all 3 elementary schools before we ended our day over at central office. So I had a great opportunity to drive around with Alex today. Unfortunately, my lab was with me yesterday, so she did take a little dog hair with her as she went on with her tour. But it was a great day. I appreciate it, and looking forward to a great year of celebrating all of our success.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Gonna move on to, got a nice little article in the newspaper about our win-win with our Clintondale entrepreneurs, as well as 2 students that were recognized in the paper for their CTE recognition. Some wonderful programs, some wonderful opportunities. If you haven't had a chance to check this out, I've got an extra copy up here. More than happy to let you borrow it. Each board member got to put one in their packet today. I did have a chance to go to the breakfast with Chantrice and Justin when they were honored at the ISD. It was a great ceremony where we had an opportunity to honor not only our Clintondale students, but students from across Macomb County. Looking at a great lunch that I had this last week with our Southeastern Chamber of Commerce luncheon. Had a great chance to sit down with some individuals from around Macomb County of what we're doing to continue to grow Macomb County. Board President, Mr. Maynard, and I got a chance to walk around, get introduced to some individuals within the community, but also talk with some individuals within colleges and other areas. It was a great luncheon to really share what we were doing here in Clintondale, pass out some business cards and make some connections, as well as enjoy a nice lunch. So it was a great opportunity. I'm actually got an email already back from one of the individuals about a potential future college partner. I won't name right now, but just a great chance where out of the blue we were both there, had a conversation, and they're looking to expand, and we're always looking to offer more opportunities. So that was a great opportunity the other day. My new Superintendent Academy on the list of information here to want to share out with you. Part of that new Superintendent Academy is an opportunity for me to go through sessions starting in August and going all the way until May, and really around different topics. And it's a new Superintendent Leadership Academy because it's really intended for a new superintendent coming in to have a focus on what your year is going to be like. but it also has an opportunity for me to have an additional mentor, for me to have someone. So Dan Applegate, who is the superintendent down in Niles, Michigan, is my mentor. Get a chance to talk regularly. His cell phone's always available. I do meet him at different conferences, and we have a chance to sit down and talk. I can run ideas by him and go through different topics. We're going to be moving into my March meeting, which is on the 27th, which has to do with policy, law, and legislation. I've gone through topics on teaching and learning, finance and funding, negotiations and personnel, governance and board recognition and relations. So really a great opportunity this year to do some additional learning as my first year as a superintendent. So please, if you have questions about what I'm kind of working on or what's happening with any of those, I've got one of the flyers here for each one of you if you want to check out some of the topics that we've been going through. The last area I wanted to talk about in terms of an update was a strategic plan update. A couple years ago, we went through a process, and I've got one of these. We can pass it down. This is the strategic plan that was really put out there, and it's on our current website right now. And it's got objectives and plan for curriculum and some goals. And I just really want to highlight within those areas, we're not doing a total revamping of everything, but really moving forward to making the goals more meaningful with what we're working on right now. Within these goals, really having a focus within that curriculum. So the first one I sent to you is the old. The second one I sent you is just a draft in terms of some additional. You'll notice the areas of focus continue to be on student growth and achievement, but really tied it more back to what we're working on within our plan from the state to show growth. So rather than looking at a report card grade with the state, really looking at our continued growth within our state assessments. Really continuing to look at our local assessments. It's great when we have a state assessment, but that state assessment's kind of like, I hate to say it, like an autopsy. It's at the end of the year. It's how you did. We need to be looking at additional data throughout the course of the year about little checkpoints, whether that's formative or summative data that we're pulling in. So you'll notice that we've added in there goals for that, as well as increasing our graduation rates and our future pathways. Within our future pathways, I don't just mean college. Anything we do after school, we need to honor as something that's important for our kids, whether that's through our CTE programs that we offer or additional training and programs moving forward. I've added in there a student wellness and well-being, as well as our business, finance, and operations. Within there, we've really talked about a 3 to 5 year plan to address our needs, not only within technology, but within our overall structure and our infrastructure within the district. Really looking at supporting employee practices for our student safety. As well as our overall structure within our building, securing our front entrances, making it so as students come in, as staff come in, we're keeping them safe while they're here. I've added one in there, additional information about community engagement. Alex, you play a big part in that community engagement of sharing our story. It's important that we share the success of everything that we're doing, as well as continuing to bring in stakeholders. I've had 2 great opportunities here recently to invite families in here to talk about the repurposing of Rainbow. I want to continue to push that out there. I want to continue to bring individuals in to have that dialogue and conversation, but also moving forward with our sinking fund. Bringing stakeholders in, having conversations, having dialogue about what we're doing to move the district forward. And a really big part within here, within our employment services, is really recruiting and retaining talent, as well as supporting our staff once they're here. Offering that professional learning that we all need to keep moving us forward. So I've put some draft things in here. I've put some information. I've attempted to tie it to our current goals that we've listed, but also tied it to what we're currently doing. This is really our blueprint of the activities that we take part in and the things that we do. And I've talked with Mr. Maynard about really moving forward with having additional planning. But this is a great draft or a skeleton to get us that conversation started.
So board members, I just want to, before I open up comments, dovetail on his last portion there. Ken and I are still working out a schedule, but the discussion and planning and fettering this out is going to happen over the next couple of months. So we're looking at options as to having 2 Thursdays and doing 3 hours each time, 2 special meetings. We're looking at doing a meeting beforehand, a workshop beforehand, before this meeting, coming in. We'll be sending it out, or an option of just coming in on a Saturday and knocking it all out. So I'll be sending out an email to get your guys' opinion on that as we feather it out further, because each section will focus on a topic. For example, in March, we're going to be really focusing on budgetary matters, because we have to do a budget amendment based on enrollment figures, and that's typically done, and Ed is working on that right now, but it's an in-depth conversation. It's not a fly-by-night thing. So we'll be taking a look at the best ways to get this dialogue going, and I'll send out to each of you formal which option you would choose, and then if you choose like the 2 Thursdays, I need a couple of Thursdays in March, a couple of Thursdays in April, and a couple of Thursdays in May, so we can get through this. And it's designed for us to bring in the appropriate, each Thursday, you'll know, like, say Thursday in March is budget. So Ed's gonna be here with his plan and the other stuff that go on it. In April, we talk about curriculum. Well, Heather's gonna be here, and the appropriate other people that are part of curriculum and those types of things will be here at that meeting for you all to meet them, for them to meet you, for all of us to gel, get our planning, get our ideas out on the table and get moving. So just expect that email from me in the next couple of days. Ken and I just gotta finalize it, because Tim and I have an agreement on one way, but I wanna make sure you guys can do it, and I don't wanna overburden you. So with that, does anybody have any questions for the superintendent for his report? Ms. Zontini?
No.
No? Mr. Manning? No. Ms. Kaminsky?
I do not, thank you.
Mrs. Noak?
No.
Mr. Powers?
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Superintendent, that is good. Thank you very much. Board members, we do not have any presentations at this time. However, one of the wonderful things that happened this month is all of us, and I'm sure it'll come up in public comment, but I'll just jump it up a little bit. All of us attended in full support of our student athletes, attended the Clintondale Sea Club event night at the races. I see the chairman is here, Mr. Blasius, Dr. Blasius is here, as well as some of your board members. Before I go to public comment, did you want to wait, or do you want to go to public comment? Did you want to talk about it? Okay. Oh. President's prerogative.
Good evening, board members. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming. All 6 active board members and our superintendent were at the night at the races. I think this is the first time that I think all board members, active and superintendent, were at a function. Thank you. I'm also like to thank the other administrators, teachers, staff, coaches, and especially our alumni. I think we had 220 people that participated. We probably had about 235, about 10 to 15 didn't show, but they just donated their money back, okay? Everybody had a blast. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you can always contact me. We can always do better. But what we'd like to showcase is what does the fundraising do for the students at Clintondale, okay? We're gonna have a ribbon cutting ceremony, and we're gonna have the coaches and some of their players at this ribbon cutting ceremony, and I will let our athletic director, Bob Wamsley, speak on that a little bit longer. Thank you very much, you guys.
So, Jay, before you leave, I think we should all just give Jay a round of applause, because I know you and your committee, it's fantastic work. For the members out there who don't know what the Sea Club does, when they raise this money, you're talking about this ribbon cutting. It's been correct me if I'm wrong, 1.5 years in the making.
Yes. Well, actually, it's been 4 years in the making, and we just
we're finally getting to it.
got shot down, just a lot of stuff.
So the Sea Club got the donors together, and it's the Clintondale Performance Center. I don't know what we're calling it or what they're calling it, but they upgraded the facilities our athletes use to get themselves ready to play the sports on the field, which is fantastic. We're on the level with other schools in our district. You go into their weight rooms and it's huge, and we're finally going to be on par. And that's not the only thing they do. They've gotten T-shirts for people. And Jay, what are
Well,
the
we do
other-
sports-specific, when coaches request, and we do things that benefit all the student athletes, and actually the athletes and potentially the teachers of the district to take advantage of what we're doing. This was a big undertaking. This performance center, which primarily focuses on our weight room, this has been long overdue. I mean, the weight room we used to have was from the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, okay? So this is a whole new look, and also it's good in recruitment for potential students. Our coaches are very motivated, and they see what we're doing on both sides of the, above the bleachers, above the boys and the girls' locker rooms, and what we're doing for basketball, football, baseball, cheerleading, wrestling, everything.
So Jay, what did you donate specifically to the basketball team this year?
Oh, this year I think we spent about $4,900 on a, they call it a Dr. Dish. It's like a rebounder. So the athletes shoot the ball, goes into the rebounder, kicks back out to them, just to help them out. Just, we got to know Marquise a little bit better. He's new to the program. We had to teach him, how to go about doing things. And the more he becomes familiar with us, the less shy he'll be in coming to us for, requests.
And Dr. J, are we golfing anytime soon?
Our golf outing will be the last Friday in July. I think it might be July 26th, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be at Maple Lane Golf Course. It's also going to have the dinner across the street at the Century Banquet Center, like it was last year. Now, this year, we're probably going to reduce the amount of people that are going to be golfing this year for two reasons. One, the courses decrease their holes, and they have a driving range, so we can't accommodate as many golfers as we once did. And we're excited to put on a better event for a little bit less, not like about 264 golfers we're going to have instead of 300 or 312 or whatever we normally get, over 300.
Sounds like it's going to be a fun time.
Thank you.
Just for the record, what I do when I go there is not even considered golfing, according to the superintendent.
There you go.
Not even swinging a club, as I was told.
I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you for all your support, and I'll let our athletic director tell you some more specifics. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Well, Jay has summed it up pretty well. Although the performance center that we're looking at, I can tell you this, as we're going through our applications for our next head football coach, it is a recruiting tool for us to get a really good football coach. And they cannot believe how large it is. The actual size, we got a 4,500 square foot performance center. 2/3 of that is going to be for power and lifting. So we have what we call 2 rigs. And that's where the weights are moved. And then the other third of it is for functional movement. So jump and rope, box jumps, tire flips, agility ladders, all that stuff that our coaches are focusing on too. So if our student athletes don't get stronger, it's on them now. It is a state-of-the-art facility. I know I've showed some pictures to some of my coaching friends and other ADs, and they cannot believe that, I hear this all the time, little Clintondale has such a large weight room. And I just keep telling them it's our huge commitment that we're making to our athletics. And the C Club, all the members of that, we've collaborated on this stuff to talk about how are we going to benefit our student athletes, and the weight room will benefit every athlete out there. So that's why we're putting so much time and effort in there. I know a couple weeks ago when I was here, I was thanking some of those guys for putting it together, and continue to thank them all for their time to help just build it, because we're not paying somebody outside to do it. These are volunteers that are helping put this together. So hopefully on the 18th, everybody that is on this meeting can attend. We will do it before the board meeting, and
18th of March?
The 18th of March. Yep.
Okay, what time?
We'll do it at 5 p.m.
Okay.
Our teams will be towards the back end of their practices, but hopefully Coach Lee can get some of the softball players to stick around to show off their hitting in the cages. And then I know the basketball team is gonna come back for the season to to show off the Dr. Dish. They always like playing with that thing. And then, any of you guys want to test some of the machines, test some of the benches, you're more than welcome. That's it.
Will you be coming back up under public comment like you normally do, or can I ask a couple of questions now?
If you want, you can ask questions now.
It's just not a question. You'll be coming next meeting with winter sports, I would imagine, correct?
Yes.
Board members, I had the ultimate privilege. I sat in New Haven High School, and it was very hard not to criticize that ref, and Bob had to remind me that I wasn't there to criticize that ref. That ref was a bad ref, that's all I'm saying. But I just wanted to say this to you guys. I think I sent this to you. Center, Shamar Reiser Presley, 3.4 GPA, senior. Forward, Devon Shishoka, 3.4 GPA, junior. Senior, guard, Jonathan Pitts, 4.08 GPA. Forward, DeAnthony Matthews, which I believe he is a freshman, if I'm not
He
mistaken.
is correct.
3.0 GPA. Forward, Daron Collins, and he's a junior, I correct, yes? 3.0 GPA. Senior guard, Mario Nardelli, 4.06 GPA. Justin Gloucester, junior, forward, 3.2 GPA. We had all academic teams from them, all county teams, honorable mentions. And I say those things to you because I can tell you how impressive Shamar is on the basketball court. I brought the guy I coach with to watch Clintondale, and we sat with Bob. He's impressive. All of our boys are impressive on that court, but they're just not champions on the court. They won twice. They won the MAC Bronze, and they won the Cardinal Mooney tournament. We came very close to winning the MAC tournament, very close, and we came so close at New Haven, beating New Haven in their own gym. But guys, as much as they're champions on the court, they are champions in the classroom. And that's something for all of us to be proud of. So,
And let's not forget our new student rep too.
Yeah.
Like, next year, we expect his name up there too, so no pressure, Kurt.
no pressure, Kurt. But I just thought you guys should know that, and you guys see that, and the public should see that. And there's gonna be a more in-depth report from Bob next month, but they represented us very, very well on the court and off the court, and I'm very proud of them.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. We are at the point of our meeting, which is public comment regarding business before the board. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics on the agenda. Please stand and be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting. To provide the opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process and respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or individuals or a specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and the privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your students violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there any member of the public wishing for public comment on agenda items? Okay. Hearing none, public comment is closed. We're going to move on. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up, ma'am. I apologize.
No worries.
I did a quick scan. Got one eye.
Everyone a moment, 'cause
Yep.
I'm not sure, okay, so I didn't prepare for this, but I have prepared for this. Let me just say it's been a difficult year. My one son is here. He's gonna be starting high school next year. Let me start off with him. He's going to go to a categorical classroom next year in high school. This is what they're recommending. I've talked to different teachers, the one teacher several times, which she can't be here tonight. But if there's any further meetings, she's able to be present within our time constraints, about 11 a.m. as your planning time. His brother is in the same classroom, and he's not doing too well. So what they're needing is an IEP before the end of this school year to place them in the right classroom. What she recommends, now her words are probably slightly different than mine, is a parapro that pulled them out, him and his younger brother's gonna be going into 7th grade. He's been in this cross-curricular classroom, and they're persuading me to send Aiden to this type of classroom as well, even though we have proof that it's not working. So what they would need is someone to shadow them through their regular classes, and 2 hours of the day, the maximum time, I think is 10 hours a week, they get pulled out of the regular classrooms to do reading and math. Now, I understand the cross-curricular classroom has a benefit. We're worried about test scores, but for my 2 children, which I know very well, and I'm not going to name any teachers' names, I believe that we're never going to get them to grade level, and that's okay. They're not going to do the greatest, but they're going to thrive with this type of setting.
So, ma'am, board members, just so you are aware, this parent has spoken to me because she is very involved in our school district. She spoke to me via Facebook when I contacted her about a post she had. Ken does have the information, and he will be setting up a meeting with you and the Director of Special Education and the teacher to see what we can do to assist this particular problem, because we want to make sure every student has the opportunities to succeed to which they can succeed and exceed that amount forward. So we are doing that. I just haven't gotten back to you to tell you tonight when it's going to happen.
No
But
problem.
He has our entire, I screenshotted the entire thing and sent it to him.
Okay,
So he's
no
got it for you.
problem. I just have to say, I would like for it to be this year, because at the end of this year, next year's already spoken for, and we're talking like, 6th and 8th grade for these guys were kind of a little rocky, but we've been with you guys since we moved back home. 2019, I graduated Clintondale 2001, and like Mr. Maynard said, I am in the theater. I work with Mr. Swansboro. I know a lot about Clintondale, so I'd like to stay with you guys. So, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Ken will be with you. We'll get it together.
Could we have her name and address?
Oh, can you state your name and address for the record?
Oh yeah, sorry, a little nervous.
Yep.
Janelle McKenzie, 35201 Rutherford Street, Clinton Township, Michigan.
I'm sorry, what grade are your children in?
Aiden, he's in 8th grade. He'll be going to the high school.
6 and 8.
Jaden's in the 6th grade. He'll be attending the 7th grade this next year.
Okay, so they're both in the middle school today?
Yeah, today.
Okay. And Ken will be in touch with you. Him and I did speak
Okay,
about that.
thank you.
Yep. Okay, hearing no other public comment, I'll move over to consent items. There are 2 items, ladies and board members. One is a resignation from Carrie Brown as the varsity and junior varsity volleyball coach, and the other as from Mr. David Myers, the run coach, the run club coach at Parker Elementary. Does the board wish to isolate either one of these? No? Motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky, is there support?
Support.
Support by Mrs. Antini. Any questions, board members? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Ms. Valerio, no. Yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Board members, we're now on to non-consent items for the agenda. There are 2. It is recommended by the superintendent and the chief financial officer that the board approve the attendance of Edward Mankinen and Presley Dorset at the Michigan School Business Officials Annual Conference. Is there a motion to approve the attendance?
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky, is there support?
Support.
Support by Mrs. Antini. Board members, is there any questions? Mr. Powers?
What is the position of Presley Dorset?
She is the accountant in our business office. So it's Ed, her, and Sherry.
I think it merits observation, and no disrespect is meant to you, Mr. McKinnon or Ms. Dorset. But years ago, we lost control as a board over the expenditures made by certain people who were authorized to attend remote learning and enrichment type activities. And I believe you will both get a per diem, and you don't have to spend the night in the tent, and you don't have to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You're entitled as an executive of this board to stay at a hotel that is befitting of your status, and that's, should be a nice hotel, and you should have a nice dinner, nice meals, and so forth. But I feel embarrassed to have to say this, but I just want to caution everybody that, and I didn't realize that.
You're
this till I
taking
got
the
on board,
words right out of my mouth.
that there's a strict prohibition against charging alcohol on the school district's dime. And I know that your reputation is beyond besmirchment, you know, it's perfect, so nobody questions you, and I don't mean to be talking down to you, but I was surprised that the other executives who went on this trip needed that talk to. So, just as a kind of a cautionary tale, whatever chits that you're gonna put in for reimbursement, you know, we're gonna examine them pretty closely, just so that we're not gonna be accused of examining from one person, but not from the other. And again, it's a little Mickey Mouse for me to have to say this, but I was so disturbed by what happened in the past. Unfortunately, I feel it's incumbent upon me to make that observation. Thank you very much.
So, I'll just elaborate on my comment, because I'm very clear every time this comes up. Is there any illegal spending, the board will deal with it. So you guys know what the school code is, you know what you're allowed to spend on, and what you're allowed to spend according to a policy. Buy something illegal, it's just, this board won't tolerate it. So, I say that to everybody who comes in. So moving forward, just keep that in mind. They do have some policies. They have to spend according to the school code. They have to bring their reimbursements back, and I believe the superintendent and then Sherry in the business office have to sign off on that stuff. And if it is not a item that is allowed under the school code, or you exceed your allowable mandate under policy, that's it. So, hearing nothing further, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Vote yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Ms. Valero, yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much. Board members, consent agenda item number 2 is recommended by the Director of Technology and the Chief Financial Officer that the board award the bid for a network and wireless upgrades to INA Comp TSG. Is there a motion to make this award?
So moved.
Lisa Valerian Oak, is there support?
Second.
Second by Mr. Powers. Board members, Mr. Lerman is here, as well as our Chief Financial Officer. Does anybody wish to have any questions for Mr. Lerman or Ed? Anybody? Okay. Board members, call the roll, please.
Ms. Valero, yes. Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Vote yes.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Yes.
Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much for the work, you two. Appreciate it. Number 3, it is recommended by the superintendent and the high school principal that the board approve the C2 Pipeline Grand Canyon University College Tour. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the Pipeline Grand Canyon University College Tour.
Mr. Powers, is there support?
Support?
Board, okay. Members of the public and board members, this was the presentation that we saw last meeting, and it's an exciting opportunity for our students in Clintondale. And Ken, I'm sure you'll respond to any staff that any expenditures have to be according to the school code. Any discussion, board members?
Do we have a date for this tour?
Mr. Superintendent, do we have a date?
I don't have the date in front of me. I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other questions? Lisa, please call the roll.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Ms. Valero, yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Board members, we are now at the place of the agenda for general public comment on items not on the agenda. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics not on the agenda. Please stand and be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting. To provide the opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process and the respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or individuals or a specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your statement violates the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there anyone in the audience tonight wishing for public comment? Dr. Blasius, you're recognized. Please state your name and your address for the record. Oh, hold on, Jay, I gotta get the timer.
Go ahead.
Wait a second, I apologize. Sir?
Jay Blasius, 47252 Grand Cypress Court, Macomb, Michigan. I mean, this was an afterthought, so it's kind of somewhat on the agenda. I don't know what the policy is as far as putting stuff out to bid, but our initiative as a C Club has been to try to get alumni to do work for us. I don't know if you guys are even considering that, but it might be, a good thing for you to do as long as their quotes are reasonable and, don't just automatically award to an alum, but I would probably start searching out some of our alumni. We have a huge alumni base that are a lot of professionals, a lot of business owners. I think if you can somehow incorporate that would probably be good. Whether they get awarded the job or not, I mean, that's for you to decide, but at least reach out. I don't know if anybody reached out to any alumni regarding some of the things on the agenda or past agendas, okay? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Blasius. Is there anybody else wishing public comment today? Mr. Lerman?
Just to respond to that, one of the new things we're doing at the district is when we go out for bid, we are going to be posting it on our website as well. So there's going to be a page on our website, any bids that we have. I mean, we do follow the policy where it is publicly announced other places, but we are also adding a new webpage to our site where we are going to post our bids. So if people are interested, they can look at that page and they can bid if they want to on the work that needs to be done at the district.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lerman. Is there anybody else wishing for public comment? Okay. Hearing none, public comment is closed. Board members, we're now on to the approval of the bills ending in February 29th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
Mr. Manning, is there support? I'm sorry? Ms. Zantini, did you support? Okay, thank you. Ms. Santini supports. Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Manning?
Vote yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio, now, yes, and Mr. Maynard?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. As a reminder to the public before we adjourn, March 11th at 6:30 p.m. will be the candidate interview for Mr. Wilbur Jones, who has applied to fill the vacancy. That will start at 6:30. It is now public knowledge, so if you wish to contact any board member, please do so. Board members, if you're contacted by an individual from the community, please make sure you share it with all the board members so we know what's going on and we hear what's happening. Okay?
So that's for next Monday then?
That is for next Monday, sir, 6:30.
All right.
Okay? And board members, I did attempt to try it tonight, but Mr. Jones had a previous engagement. So I did have a nice conversation with him, but he had a previous engagement, so. Okay, there's a motion to adjourn as an order.
So moved?
Ms. Kaminsky, support.
I support.
Ms. Lisa Valerio Noak, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio, now, yes. Mr. Manning?
Vote yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes, motion carries 6-0 and adjourned at 7:19 p.m. Have a good day, everybody.